everyone, and welcome to the Women's Yoga Council podcast. My guest for today is someone very, very interesting, Mr. Murli. He is the founder of India's first AI-powered yoga mat, or the world's first smart yoga mat called YogiFi. So here's Mr. Murli. Yourself, particularly about how this idea came to you, what is your background that led you to such an innovative idea, which I have to say is ahead of its time.
Absolutely. So first of all, namaste Pragya. So it's great to have such a interesting conversation and creating content around this. So really appreciate that initiative.
The pleasure is ours.
So about myself, my journey, if I have to just sum up, it's more like techie turned yogi turned entrepreneur, and how it all began was like in 2012 I was suffering from a chronic naked back pain issues when I was in corporate, and typical corporate lifestyle, not take enough care about your health and purely on the work and the deadlines and schedules. Working with worldwide teams across the time zones, it really pushed me to a point that I had a severe issues in the spine, both on the lumbar and the cervical side. And obviously I consulted a doctor, and the doctor said, yes, you have to go through a surgery because you have a severe situation where it can be only addressed through a surgery. And in the pre-med checks, I was also before the surgery, and I was also seeing that I was on the borderline diabetic along with hypertension. So it took me really hard that day when I saw all these reports, and surgery is going to be risky with these conditions. Maybe I need to start medication, and that's when fortunately I came across a yoga teacher who used to come to our apartment community, but I never paid attention. But and somebody said, why don't you talk to him? And I spoke to him, Dr. Shab Sundar. He said, looked at my MRI scan. He said, Murli, you know what? This is not something that cannot be recovered. You can recover. It takes a lot of discipline and your lifestyle correction and getting on to yoga practice. And he said he cannot promise the time when it all depends on you as an individual. And I took some inputs from my family, and finally I took the decision of very bold decision. Back then yoga was nobody was even talking about it, and yoga therapy was something unheard. And I somehow took the leap of faith, and I said, let me try the alternative path first before getting into the medication or surgery.
Right.
And you won't believe it, like within first 3 months I started to see that my back pain was slowly getting disappeared. And within 6 months to 1 year, my neck pain it's like as if I don't have a neck pain too. And I started doing from back pain to back bends within a year. And then I realized something one day, I should not leave this beautiful ancient science, which I took an oath for myself, I should never leave this practice. And yes, then I got into a little bit more deeper into the practice. Over the years, I felt like maybe I should understand a little bit more about this science. And I got into yoga university and did my yoga instructor course, YSC. So this was in 2016, and I was still with corporate, and I was doing this, and after I became a trainer, then I realized in 16, 17 time, I started taking classes, more like a pro bono community service to senior citizens, to some kids, and that really gave a lot of satisfaction.
Right.
And I took a decision one day that I want to quit corporate and took that jump that I should become an entrepreneur, do something on my own while I'm practicing yoga and teaching yoga. And that was when YogiFi did not happen back then. It was my other startups that I did, which are more close to what I was working at Cisco. because I never had the idea of YogiFi back then. It was doing other startups.
Right.
And 2018 is when I got into this tech yoga kind of a startup. I didn't think about even the name back then. It was still floating in my mind. So one of the days, what happened is how this all got triggered is it's very funny. Like I was completing a yoga class, and I found that some people turned off their cameras in my Zoom class, and I didn't know what's going on the other side, and I was feeling a little clueless. Are they even following my instructions? Are they in Shavasana? What's going on there? No clue. And they were mute, no camera on. So that was when I felt like something was missing for these trainers to even track individual practice remotely. And remember, this was in 2017, around that time, and 18. It was not like pandemic scenario and all that. And when I was after the session, I just looked at the mat, and for some reason, I felt like, why not we use this mat? Why can't this mat be my tool to see whether people are doing what I'm suggesting? So back then I was using Excel sheets telling asanas, what to do, where, whom to do what, like if you have hypertension, if you have back pain, what you should not do, what you should do. And I felt as a technology person, maybe as a techie, like maybe I got this idea, why can't this mat be the tracker?
Right.
Like there is smartwatch to track your footsteps. Why can't be a smart mat that can track yogasanas? So that was the genesis for YogiFi. That's how it happened.
Yeah, I always find it very interesting when I meet other people who were into something else, and I think the how they say the proof of the pudding lies in the taste. So with yoga also, I think we always say, okay, it's magical, and the magic lies in the transformation that we see.
Yes.
So you've experienced that, and a lot of us have experienced that, and that's what I think inspires us to then do more. Like you brought your tech skills to this product. So at the time, you found this gap in the market. As a yoga trainer, you found this gap in the market. So tell us, how then did you actually start work on this, on YogiFi?
Idea.
Yeah, on this idea, because I think there are a lot of people who are software engineers these days. There's so many software engineers in Bangalore, and I also happened to work as a software engineer.
Okay.
Yes, for 8.5 years.
Okay.
Before I quit, and I decided to start up with yoga. So a lot of people who have the tech background and they really like yoga, sometimes they get stuck about how to combine these two. So give us some insight from your journey, and what did you learn, and any insights into your journey that can be useful to such people.
Absolutely. No, I think at a very basic level, right? I think what I have this conviction that our ancients have created a beautiful science, yoga, and then we have to make it accessible. And I found certain opportunity to make this accessible so that it becomes part of a daily habit. So how I went about is like, sometimes you have an idea, but you may be not, as you said, sometimes you may not have the necessary skills. In my context, it was slightly different because I had a tech background and I was working on IT, IoT, AI. But what if somebody doesn't have? So the best way is to find people who can be partners with you, right? Sometimes you may be good in knowledge of yoga and you are the best person, subject matter expert. But bring subject matter expert in the technology area, like somebody who is good in design, somebody who is good in apps, somebody who is good in the hardware. So that's what I have also done. So I have also created a very basic prototype in 2018 when I got this idea with another intern. Because I have this background, I worked along with some kind of a fresh graduate who later I made him as a co-founder, and like somebody who is having that seek to learn and try some things. So we tried a few POCs, and I brought a professor who was also my colleague at Cisco, Mr. Shankar, and he has hardware knowledge, embedded systems knowledge. So I said like, I brought him and I brought a student or fresh grad, and I, with my knowledge or whatever I gathered, or the problem, I was defining the problem, because problem definition is very important before we solve the problem.
Right.
So that's what I was working on, to understand, go deep into the problem. And then three of us, we got together, created a prototype. And it's not that easy also, because hardware is very hard. So before we spend a lot of our time, invest our money or anything on that, for that matter, we said, okay, let's build a prototype. And we created a small video, a very small 1 minute video, explaining the problem and how this product can solve for teacher or for the student.
Right.
That video became viral.
Okay.
It became so viral. People asked me, where can I get this? Where can I find it? How can I get this one? And this was in 2018, before pandemic, right? Then we felt, yes, I think we are solving a problem which is a necessity, which could help people. And then after doing that initial validation, then we incorporated the startup. We didn't incorporate the company until then. It was only like ideation, trying things and all that. So only when we got, yes, this can be a potentially a startup idea, where people can also invest, because it's not just you can invest, but you need people to invest.
Right.
So then we started this company. But the idea is to bring experts to answer your question.
Yes.
Because you may not have necessary skills. Partner with somebody who has necessary skills, subject matter expert, and validate your idea or your concept with audience that you want to go after. And if they are willing to pay either for your product or service or whatever, then you can incorporate it with the right set of people and go forward.
And you've said it so easily, and you've made it seem like such a seamless process. But I am sure there have been setbacks, and also I feel like when you have to collaborate with other people also who come from a different sort of background, then you have to be open to them.
Absolutely.
Also. So all of that. Also, I feel like when you came in the morning to see your space, I think your philosophy is embodied in the way you've set up your office, because right now this is the yoga space. You've given the yoga experts their space to give you their ideas and their the benefit of their experiences, and then you have your space where you have the techies working on their software and hardware. So, and it's a good balance. Like everybody has their own space. Having worked in like the health tech startup space, I know that a lot of companies have this limitation where it's either only about tech, and then in that process you sort of forget, okay, yoga is the thing that you're trying, or health is the thing that you're trying to solve. Then it becomes only about the tech, or it's a lot about authentic health, good yoga, this and that, but you don't know how to translate that to good software. So here I think you have a great mix of that. So
absolutely. Striking the right balance.
Yes, which is such a yogic principle, the main yogic principle. So with this experience that you've had, and you've spent so much time with technology and health. Now, where do you see, like going forward? Now AI is everywhere. So where do you see AI intersecting with health, specifically yoga, in the coming time? Also, I ask you this because in our previous conversations, when we've discussed your idea, your mat, I have always said that you were ahead of the times. So now I'm asking you this because I'm sure you have some insight into the future that not many people at this point have. So kindly enlighten us about what you think.
Absolutely. So maybe I think I'll expand this maybe just to explain what YogiFi is for the audience.
Yes.
And so the idea of YogiFi is essentially, it's not just a smart yoga mat, but it is about making smart yoga as a service, so that be it people who are beginners to even experts to yoga teachers, there's something to look into this. And essentially it is about starting with a very basic principle of starting where you are and listening to your body, and then calming your mind. And in the process, it's a journey. Everybody starts at a point A, and everybody's starting point can be different. Somebody could have back pain, somebody could have knee pain, somebody could have diabetes, obesity. Everybody's starting point is different. But the end goal is towards moving to a better version of yourself, not just physically but also emotionally, mentally. How can you be a better individual Or can you be somebody who can evolve to a better self? And this journey is where we wanted to make sure that technology can be enabler, and that's where the smart yoga mat, the smart surface here, which will make sure your practice is like you're accountable to yourself.
Right.
What's your practice has been like, what's your sadhana,
Right.
and how your progress has been over time, and how you are actually helping teachers to let them know you are on the mat every day, and teachers to see that hey, this person is seeing progress. If you look at my own journey, and maybe for that matter your journey, is there any data to tell your journey? No, there's no data.
Yeah.
It's only a case study, and people don't believe case studies all the time,
Yeah.
right? Because they need really the proof points.
Yeah.
Like for example, they trust in the data than sometimes even in science or anything, because the data is very important. So with this backdrop, now where does this whole thing moving, and what is AI playing a role here? So a lot of people think AI is a bad thing, but it's just like AI can be seen as a good personal human companion in the future. Like for example, if you look at the concept of Gen AI, people are using generative AI to make their job simpler, and because it is able, it's like your second brain. It's something thinking based on you or inputs, and then it is giving guidance, and it's up to you as a human to make the decision finally. Right. So similarly, we are not Gen AI, but we are Zen AI. So we're really bringing Zen into the AI combination, and really making this whole practice more available for everybody across the world.
Right.
So where is this leading towards is the beauty of tech is that you can reach really large people in a big way. We start with the apps. An app is made now. Mobile phone is pretty much everywhere. Everybody has smartphones. Now apps are there available. So the app is giving some value. People are downloading an app which is delivering a value. Now, if the app is smart, it's not just saying what to how to do, like asanas, training and all, but what to do and when to do. So for example, if you are coming today, you are and you want to start your morning with a yoga routine, but based on your data, if it tells you, let's say you didn't have a good sleep, why don't you do something to your restorative? Don't push yourself too hard, maybe, or maybe kind of do certain deep relaxation, or do some breathing, or you woke up in the morning with a bad cold or bad headache.
Right.
What do you need to do? So what I'm saying is this is leading towards very personalized experience, which is not possible for anybody to be there on top always telling. You need technology to help.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's say today morning I'll tell YogiFi and maybe I will not even type, I'll just say converse, like an assistant, smart assistant. Hey YogiFi, tell me what should I do today because I woke up with a very bad headache, I didn't have a good sleep. Right? Or YogiFi app will obviously look at maybe certain health data from watch or smart ring, can also give a recommendation. So that's one direction people are moving towards, where health and wellness in general is unifying the best of each of us. And that's where the path towards, even the doctors are embracing slowly this part, because a lot of these ailments which are triggered by lifestyle diseases or lifestyle issues can be corrected with a practice like yoga and meditation, right? So we are moving towards that, where AI is giving guidance, recommendations and all. At the same time, AI, if you look at the trend now, everybody has a smartwatch, smart ring or something else to track their heart rate, track their SpO2, track their various vital biomarkers. But is that good enough? Not really. What is the use of your SpO2 is going low? Do you rush to the doctor? Not really. Can you take deep breaths? Can you improve your oxygen levels? Yes. That's the intervention we need to bring now with AI. By looking at this data real time, hey, your heart rate is extremely low or high or whatever, what do you need to do? What is the remediation? What is the quick instant relief?
Yes.
Right? So this is becoming so important because it's not like anybody is there with you. Maybe sometimes you are alone and you have to go do something.
Yes.
Maybe you're tense. Can you take some deep breaths?
Yeah.
Can this app remind you? Can this mat tell you, okay, come out to the mat, do some stretches?
Yes.
So this is where we are moving towards as a trend.
Yeah. It's I think a lot of it has to do with preventive. Yes. Rather than fixing some problem, we're trying to prevent any kind of health issues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's wonderful.
So health tech, wellness tech.
Yeah.
There is a line that is getting blurred.
Yes.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. Basically, these biomarkers, you are able to collect it.
Yes, but
then what do you do with it?
What do you do with it? Yes. Yeah.
So,
yes, awesome. And is this because like this is after all technology and a lot of hard work goes into it and a lot of man hours. So in terms of pricing, is it accessible to everybody?
Okay.
And do you like realistically speaking, will a lot of people
make it affordable?
Masses, the masses will be able to.
Yeah. I think what we are looking at is actually if anybody asks, oh, is the mat so expensive? I would say it's not the mat alone, because there is something beyond that, like app, content, training. If you ask anybody for that matter, if you like on an average, what is the money they spend to really focus on their health? They are nowadays spending $1,000 to $2,000 per month in India, and in US they're spending $100 per month, right? And let's say you're selling this mat at $240 or $200, and even in India at $11,000. So you're actually recovering that in so much time, but this is with you for a longer time. And there's a data that insights are so important. So what I'm saying is, it will be seen as accessible. Sorry about it. So it is seen as accessible only when you look at the larger scheme of things. Like, if you have to have a yoga teacher with you all the time, personal trainer, or you have to have a therapist, or you need to go through certain, a goal that you want to achieve. You need to invest on health and wellness.
Yes.
And that's how you should. That's how we are making sure.
Yes.
This is not seen like, okay, there is a cost to it, but it's more like an investment.
Yes.
Let's imagine, I have seen many case studies and people, even at my home, they don't take care of their health. They end up in the hospital. They spend a lot of money, bills and all that. Even companies insure only 80%, 20% you're spending. With any hospital, any visit, nowadays it's like 5 to 10,000 and sometimes even more. Let's say we proactively take care of this, invest in our health and wellness. It will not be seen as an expenditure. It will be seen as an investment for one's own well-being.
Like
and that's how we are positioning it, because we also want to deliver value and quality rather than trying to deliver something which will undermine certain values and ethos we have, principles we have. The same mat can be done with a cheaper material. Is that good enough? Or people are willing to spend money to a longevity, a longer you think, right? Like if it is working for a longer time.
Right.
So why is a brand like Apple becoming so successful in India? Because people value the quality and the brand and association.
It's value.
Longer term value. So why content creators are using only iPhone because of the camera. So a lot of these things we felt like people are not concerned so much about it if you deliver value.
Right.
And we are focused on delivering value and quality.
Like I always tell my students, if you think health is expensive, investing in your health, wait till you see how much disease costs. And it'll always be so much more than just investing in your health. So it's always, I think.
I'll take my example just to add on to it. Like 2012 when I had this issue, surgery is one part. Yes, company would reimburse for the medical expenditure, but surgery would have done certain things to me in the body over time.
Yes.
So is that the path? Yes, there is a medical reimbursement, but I had chosen the path of yoga, where no company was ready to reimburse, no Mediclaim insurance can be possible. I invested on yoga therapy, month on month, one-on-one therapy, which was not a cheap one, which was expensive, but I felt no, let me do this. Because of that, I had a longer term benefit, longer term value, rather than taking a shortcut, thinking, okay, it is coming as reimbursement, why should I spend money on yoga then?
Yes.
But I chose a decision, even though it was expensive at that time. No, I want to take a longer term view about it.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to convey.
Yes, well, for as a yoga teacher, I think every day at least 5 times. No, this is too expensive. These one-on-one sessions are too expensive, and I think only when you actually stick to it,
Yeah.
and you see the benefits is when
Yeah.
you realize it was not actually that expensive.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
wonderful experience that you have, and that's led to so much that you've done.
Exactly.
Quite curious to know your opinion because see, AI, having these yoga mats and technology has really enabled us to work on the physical yoga practice, asana practice. Where do you think AI will help in terms of mindfulness, and how do you think it'll help with mindfulness? Because ultimately yoga is about developing a more mindful approach to life. So how do you think AI and technology can help us with that?
Absolutely. I think if you observe, I think the one thing that somebody gets into yoga practice, yes, they start at a physical asana level, and over a period of time, they see that their overall emotional and mental health is also improving, and they can handle any kind of adversity with perseverance, and they can manage that better than people who are not into yoga. That's what I always observe, and my personal observation. And I feel like from a technology angle, where people are moving towards, and there's a big trend now, is mindfulness. And mindfulness is so important now. And how are we measuring this mindfulness is going to become very critical. So, for example, it can be as simple as the state of mind phone check-ins. How are you feeling today? And how are you feeling at this moment? And reminding them to even log is very simple practice. It's like a mini journaling in a way, that hey, what made you feel not good today? And understanding that a little bit more is creating a sense of awareness. And yoga is about that, like being aware about what's going in your body or mind, and in the process you do certain things to come out of that situation. And nobody is perfect, and everybody is going through this whole evolution and journey. So how tech is going to enable is to give this gentle nudges to law. And if you are absolutely feeling bad over a period of time, then of course you need to consult some specialists and all that. But can we do something with the technology is where giving them preventive care, like and for example, making sure they are doing certain breathing practices, certain pranayams. So for example, in my home, there were very severe cases of mental health in my extended some family members, and then with Brahmari pranayama, they could all reverse their all symptoms, and it was something that an amazing thing that yes, if Brahmari pranayama can do certain severe situations to calm down, maybe yes, we need to adopt them. But technology should enable them. If you have to do Brahmari or any Nadi Shodhana, you need to give them access to such kind of content and track their mental health over time. That's about mental health, but even at a very basic level, mindfulness. So we did work on something called a smart tree, which will wearing this. So essentially, it tracks your mindfulness, breathing patterns, and very quietly, and it gives you small 5-minute meditations and things like that to bring your focus back on where you are, and the present moment, gratitude, and things like that we are bringing.
Wonderful. So, as small as a ring, but it has so much of an impact.
Yes.
Very nice. So a fun question. You became a yoga practitioner, because of your health, and now you've been a practitioner for a long time. So what are some, and in your journey with tech and health and yoga, what are some interesting things or quirky things you've found about yogis and yoga practitioners?
I think a lot of times we had like scenarios where, for example, when I'm doing Surya Namaskaras, and I threw a challenge to people, and then they realized, okay, doing Surya Namaskara itself is so difficult, and they think yoga is easy. And a lot of people say, oh, what is so big in yoga? They like to go to gym to they want to show off their biceps and muscles, but they understand that the internal strength is not good when they get onto yoga mat.
Right.
So I found that people who are on gym, a lot of youngsters, they're like, oh, I'm flexing my muscles, I'm doing great, I have strong strength.
Right.
And I ask them to do a simple posture, they cannot do it.
Yeah. Yes.
The muscles are so stiff. Then they realize it's not
Yes.
good. You need to have balance. Yes, you need to have strength, and you need to have overall body health. And I used to laugh out like they cannot do like a simple bend, and they cannot the Parastasana, they cannot go all the way down.
Right.
Then
Right.
they realize yes, the back is stiff.
Yeah. Yes.
But every day they are doing a lot of things in the gym.
Right.
So, and I like, and I definitely feel like these are the scenarios. It's like very funny situations when people underrate yoga, and that's when I like. Now you know, very well. Can you hold a complex pose like even Mayurasana? People can't do it.
Yes.
They are going to gym doing strong muscles, strong arms, but they cannot do Mayurasana.
Right.
What is the use? That means you are not able to keep your entire body on your forehands.
Right.
Sorry, forearms. So
Forearms.
those are the things that we understood that yes,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
scenarios I've seen.
Yeah.
Some of my friends I challenge them, Surya Namaskara, 108. Oh, what is the 108? I can do it. I have been doing so many running, I've been marathon guy. 108 Surya Namaskara they did, and
Yeah.
next 2-3 days they were not able to get out of the bed.
Yeah.
Right? So now they understand, yes, these are not easy,
Yes. Yeah.
and this requires a lot of sadhana, practice, persistency. Now I am making them aware, yes, don't think yoga is easy. It's
Yeah.
not easy, but you should practice.
Yeah, I think it's us yoga practitioners who know how difficult it is. It's.
Now, some of my marathon friends said, oh my god, yoga 108 is it's a bigger marathon than.
Right, yeah. Once they try, then they think
Yeah.
then they understand how hard it is.
Yeah.
But initially, I feel like so many people think, oh, yoga, it's boring, it's
Yeah,
easy,
exactly.
Yeah.
For old people.
It's for
It's
old
all for people.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, how is it going to help? Does it really help to do this? The
Correct. Breathing practices.
Yeah, so. But yeah, I feel like that again is a transformation for those people.
Yeah.
Their perception changes. Okay, so in closing, I would like your one suggestion that you can give
Okay.
to, let's say, someone else who wants to kind of do the same thing that you did. They have an idea, they spot a gap in the market. What is, besides like the brass tacks of it, like you've already explained, get these people together, get the right people for the right work and all of that. What would you say to somebody who, it seems like such a big task, right?
Yeah.
It's like a Herculean task, uphill climb. What are some of from your journey, there must have been like that also, like where you thought, oh, I just should quit, nobody's interested, that never gonna happen, but you persevered.
Yeah.
What helped you in those moments?
Mm.
Because I know the journey of a founder is lonely.
Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody like they're trying to realize their dreams, and then it's those moments of loneliness, frustration, setbacks. What would you say?
Absolutely. No, I think maybe it's not just my startup, or for the matter, many other startups founders have really tough time because there are various things which are moving. Everything is in motion. Like one is your product, your business, your customers, and your investors, your employees. So like a lot of things that you need to balance and to still make progress. And you go with that, persistent, single-minded mission that yes, I want to do. I start. Whenever I go through these scenarios, especially, and I've gone through such. By the way, it's not like honestly. Yes, it was tough because we have hardware, we have AI, we have app, so many things. We are bringing an ecosystem, we have a community that we need to bring up. So a lot of these things are happening. So many times I felt, yes, it was like, okay, it's tough. But for some reason, I don't know, is it based on my personality or whatever, I don't know. Like I'm doing Karma Yoga and I'm doing something. And somewhere down the line, the universe will do what is right at that right time and the right moment, and just surrender to that process of what's going on rather than trying to be judgmental about, okay, now it's gone, I should give up times. Like I should continue, maybe do the things which is continue doing it with that one thought I always have, and maybe that's why this whole YogiFi journey is continuing. Is that okay? Universe is helping me because I am trying to do something good, and whenever you're doing something good for community or society or whatever, because my motivation is okay not to make money because that can be a byproduct, but motivation is to really help more people. Like the way I got, because of yoga, I got into this without medication, without surgery, without health problems, recovering from all of that and helping more people. So that was my intent with which way I started the startup. My intent was not to, make this something big and all that. Okay, which will happen. Maybe that is the process. But ultimately, always, okay, every night I go to bed, okay, with satisfaction that I am able to do something which many people could not do. There is some responsibility that I have, and that keeps me going. When I wake up in the morning, that is a gratitude feeling. Let me start the day. If something did not work, let's see if we can do something else. We keep pivoting, we keep trying different things. So my suggestion to everybody, actually, for that matter, be it yogi or even entrepreneur or anything, look at the reason why you started. That makes you feel first humble, gratitude feeling, and also makes you go because I started for a purpose, with a purpose. That purpose should not be compromised. No matter who you bring on board, who you interact with, even with the investors, I keep saying the same. I have a purpose, and I want to make this like why yoga cannot become part of a daily habit. Like how Westerners brought brushing your teeth every day in the morning, twice a day, and similarly, why not get onto yoga mat 10-15 minutes a day, make this a daily routine. That's my mission.
Wonderful.
Right? And that's the whole reason why this mat has been created. Because that's the only way I know people are getting onto the mat.
Wonderful. Okay, so basically, trust the process, have gratitude, remember why you started, remember your purpose. Awesome. All right. So this was our conversation with Mr. Murli of the YogiFi yoga mat, the world's first smart yoga mat, and helping thousands of people at this point with their yoga
and
practice.
21 countries.
Thousands of people in 21 countries.
Yes.
Wow.
And,
a truly international
surprisingly,
yoga mat.
we are seeing more countries getting added.
Okay.
Like Africa.
21
Europe,
countries and counting.
And
a yoga mat proudly made in India. So,
thank you so much.
so this
proudly
was
made in India, absolutely.
So proudly made in India, and in fact in our very own Namma Bengaluru.
Namma Bengaluru.
Yeah, and so I hope you guys, everyone watching, I hope you got a lot of insights into the life and the journey of a yogi who decided to realize his vision for everybody practicing yoga, who decided to realize his vision through tech, and who is not scared of AI as a lot of us are. So I hope you have a lot of learnings from this conversation, and in case you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or to reach out to the YogiFi team directly, or to you can reach out to us on the Women's Yoga Council directly as well. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so
for
much.
this conversation.
Thank you so much. It's a great conversation.
Yes, thanks.